Same thing. I really liked the relationship in the new movie. They developed it a lot more in the new series between the dad and his son. So I loved that. And I think it's interesting that they delineate between Hohenheim and father. You know, in the new series. How many of you guys are watching Brotherhood? Watching it? The rest of you. What's up? I'm just teasing. You guys keep watching because it's going to get awful intense. The last few episodes are just mind-blowing. Yes, sir.
Out of your room of gifts you've got, what's the weirdest one you've got?
Weirdest one?
There we go.
Well, if you've watched any YouTube videos, and I'll bet some of you have, you would know that somebody gave me an envelope with a lock of their hair. Suffice it to say, I did not keep it, that's a weird one. That's a weird one. But you know what? 99.9% of the things that I get are just they're priceless to me. They're valuable because somebody spent a lot of time either drawing it or building it or making it or writing it, and I am so grateful. That's why I keep it all. So when I'm a very old man, I can sit in the middle of all of it and reflect upon my life. Yes, ma'am.
What was it like, both professionally and personally, when you met Romy Paku?
Oh my gosh. Well, Romy played the original Edward Elric in Japanese, for those of you that didn't know. And the funny story about Romy is that she was supposed to be a guest of honor with me at Anime Expo in 06, 07, whatever, one of those, a long time ago. And at the last minute, she wasn't able to come. I had bought her a present. I was so excited because I'd never met any of my Japanese counterparts. So to meet one, and not only just meet one, but to meet the one who played Ed, I was so excited, and I was really, really sad when she wasn't able to make it. But when I got the opportunity to go to Tokyo, I called Square Enix. I had some friends at Square Enix, and I said, I would like you to do two things. I want to do two things while I'm there. Number one, I want to sit in on an actual recording session. I want to see you guys do it the way you do it. I want to watch you guys record. And then the second thing is, I want to meet, or at least maybe have dinner or something with Romy Park. So they made both of those happen, and I'm telling you guys, it was like we knew each other, even though we couldn't speak a word of each other's language, and we'd never met, and we're on the opposite sides of the planet. We sat across the table, like let's say this is Romy and this is Romy's translator, and I sat across from her, and here's my translator, and we're like locked in and just talking, and the translators are translating, and we're just gabbing back and forth, and had the best time. The best time.
The miniskirt line also.
That's right.
Yeah, she did.
I made her say the miniskirt line in Japanese.
It was awesome. It was epic. It's called Two Eds Are Better Than One.
She's really wanting to come to a convention in the States. So we're trying to see if we can make that happen. But I had the most wonderful time. I recorded a little message for her to say hello to the Visible Rangers, and I gave her this present that I bought for her to give her at Anime Expo. I took it all the way over there and gave it to her. And then the next day, she sent to my hotel this beautiful Japanese tea set. Because, you know, I mean, it's so polite, and you know, I gave her something, and she felt like I should do something. And so I just had cherished that. That was one of my favorite things. I mean, some people, you know, they want to go to Japan to see Mount Fuji or to go see all the Buddhist temples. No, I wanted to see Romy Park. That's what I wanted, and I got to. So yes.
Okay, so I have a few questions.
Okay. How did I get Tamaki's hyperness? How do you know Tamaki didn't get my hyperness? I'm a little hyper, don't you think, sweetheart?
Oh yeah.
I have a little bit of hyperness in me, so what I did is like I channeled it into Tamaki. And of course Ed's got double the hyperness. times. So you take Ed and you knock him back about 20%, and then you get Tamaki. But I love Tamaki's hyperness. I love how he tries to be so smooth, and he just thinks he's all that. And then he's like, ah! He's like in the corner, balled up. Poor kid, right? All the way to the back.
Okay, I've always wanted to know this. Who is shorter, Toshiro Hitagaya or Edward Elric?
Well, never having met either of them. You know what? I don't know how tall Hitsugaya is.
4'4".
No, he's not. That's like Oompa Loompa. That's small. Like, I think he was inside R2-D2. I don't think it was Kenny Baker.
Sources I've read.
Wow, okay, if that's true, then he wins. Because Edward is 4'11".
And a half.
0.577. Yes. Oh yeah. This is how she had her hand raised.
Speaking of YouTube and of Hohenheim, I saw a video once where if you promised that if there was a live action Fullmetal Alchemist, you'd have to play Hohenheim. Were you serious about that?
Well, I only said I would love to play Hohenheim because he would be like the closest to my age. I certainly couldn't. Why does Edward Elric have a beard? Why is Edward so tall and old? But as much as I love that, I mean, that's one of the beauties of anime, you guys. One of the beauties of anime is I can play characters that I would never get cast for in a live action film, right? Like, I don't look anything like Broly. And I don't think anybody in here does. But I would never. If they were going to make a live-action Broly movie, I would be like, you know, some poor little henchman that Broly steps on. That would be me. So, and just with Ed, the same thing with Ed. I get the chance to play, like, youthful teenage characters a lot of times. Not because I'm a teenager, but just because that's kind of the kind of voice type that I have. But I would, if there were ever a full metal live action movie, I would love to be a part of it. Even just like a little cameo thing, you know? Maybe I could play Mustang. I love dogs! Travis is somewhere right now going, but, yes.
I've been waiting to ask you this question for a long time.
Yes.
Because I finally got a chance to see your all-time favorite anime, and I want to know, do you really believe Natsumi should have died at the end of Generator Gall, or should she have lived?
Spoiler. Oh well.
There's no point in seeing it now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you the truth.
I'll watch it today.
I love it when people die.
Wow.
I mean, that didn't come out at all like a minute. You know what? Don't tell Leonard I said this. I loved it when Spock died in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why? It was powerful.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that's the kind of thing that you would never think, oh, they're not going to kill Spock. They're not going to kill Captain Kirk. They're not going to, you know what I mean? They're not going to kill this main character, this beloved role. But I love it that somebody somewhere said, for the sake of the story and for the sake of the power of that moment, we're going to do it. Doggone it, we're going to do it. I love that. And you know what? I mean, I love some of the choices they made in the Conqueror of Shambhala movie. They were not nice little tied up with a bow, perfect ending. But that was what was cool about it, is that they made these choices for the sake of the story. Hughes!
Oh no! No!
Exactly, right? Why are you all making that noise? Because it was powerful. Because he was such a beloved character, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, Hughes, my favorite, he's gonna live forever. No.
25 episodes.
That was one, you know what? It was that moment. I'll tell you guys something. It was that moment when I thought, this is no ordinary anime series. We're going along 15, 20 episodes, Full Metal. what was that, 22, 25, somewhere in there?
25.
When
25.
Guys, the moment that happened, I was like, holy I couldn't believe it because it was such a powerful moment. I couldn't believe they did that. And that was when I thought, okay, these guys are going to make a dang good story, and they're going to pull whatever stops to make it a powerful, emotionally packed story. So I love that. So in answer to your question, I'm totally cool with a beloved and a great character dying for this if it serves the story. Let's put it that way. Yes.
Okay, I have two questions. One, if you can you sing part of the One Piece theme song?
I sang 3 One Piece theme songs. Which one?
I don't know, any of them, I guess.
Yes.
Your favorite.
We Are? How does that one go? Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Together we can blah 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 blah. Star Trek. How about, what's the other one? How's that? Oh, how about A to Z? You know, you can't stop me now, I'm always going A to Z. I run without stopping. I love that one. And then what's the other one? I think back to the time when my search first began. I left behind those. That takes too much breath. Next. Some of those songs, man, there's no time to breathe. You can't get a breath in them. Yes, sir. Yes.
What was the first anime you've ever watched that you started playing?
The first anime I ever watched?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Oh my God. Sing it. Adventures waiting just ahead. Oh my gosh, I love that show. And when I was a little kid, I didn't even know why I liked it so much, or why it was just different. You know what I mean? It didn't look like the original, like the other cartoons that I watched, and it certainly didn't sound like it. I didn't know why it was different, and of course I found out later because it was from another country. But I love Speed Racer. Can I tell you guys a quick Speed Racer story?
Yeah, sure.
So here I am as a little kid and loving Speed Racer, not even knowing it was anime, not knowing where it was from. Now, fast forward, many, many years, and I'm voicing anime, right? And I don't know if any of you know about this, but a few years back, they had the first annual American Anime Awards. And it was like the Oscars for anime. And they had all the categories like Best Long Series, Best Short Series, Best Comedy, Best Female Supporting Actress, Best Male Actor, Best whatever, Best Packaging, Best Music Soundtrack, all of those kind of things. And they held, and they basically started by taking votes from all of the fans online. And they narrowed down the field of nominees to 5 in each category. And I was fortunate enough to get nominated for Best Actor for Full Metal Alchemist that year, and for Macross from ADV. So they flew all of the finalists up for the big ceremony, the televised ceremony in New York City. So I'm sitting, it's like a theater, and I'm sitting in this, just in one of the rows out here, and I'm sitting beside this older gentleman. I know who he was, but we start chatting. And seemed like a really nice guy. And so then they start the ceremony. And they're going through the different categories, and then they finally get to a category called Lifetime Achievement Award. Lifetime Achievement Award, okay? And they start talking about this guy who's going to be the recipient of this Lifetime Achievement Award, right? And then they said, please welcome the voice of Speed Racer, Mr. Peter Hernandez, and it was the guy sitting beside him. I totally turned into a fanboy. And he gets up, and he walks up and gets the award, and he comes back and sits down beside me, and he's showing me the award and stuff. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, this is the craziest full circle, right? When I was a little kid, loving Speed Racer, not even realizing his anime, and now here, many years later, I'm sitting in an anime awards ceremony